It's one of these long-ass intros here. Possibly.
Hey, there we go. It popped up. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, hey. Hey. Howdy ho, everybody.
Howdy ho.
Howdy ho from Canada. You know the deal by now. And if you don't, shame, double shame. This is the Terminal Directive.
Shame.
Shame. This is the Terminal Directive Weyland card tier list breakdown. So, everybody, if you want to open your playbooks and programs to page 3, you can follow along.
Hey.
So you're going to jump down to the link in the description of this video, and you are going to click on the Corporation tab, and you can either follow along or you can look at everything filled out later on down the road.
Man, that's pretty
exciting.
Right, guys?
Yeah,
right? That's how we do? This
so
is
exciting.
How we do.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Let's jump over to the page, shall we? To the
man.
To the
Let's do
picture
this.
to the picture page.
So on our last adventure, we went through the criminal TD cards.
We did.
So if you wanted to check that out, there's an earlier episode. Feel free to see how wrong we are, and then you can also look at our rankings. And now we decided to flip the script and make some throw a corp one in there.
Oh boy, I'm scared.
Yeah, man.
I'm actually scared.
Keep it on your toes. Yeah, Weyland hype.
So
Get
thanks
ready.
for joining on a
I don't-
Monday. I'm just signaling the chat. Most people, this is not our regular day. This is a makeup and breakup day.
Yeah, man.
Also, if there's any hockey fans out there, you guys can see I'm supporting the good old Nashville, the Music City, as my team, always tried and true. So this is a pretty hefty game. So if shit changes, it's 3-3 right now. Feel free to throw scores up in the chat.
Please,
Just
so you can
because
follow along.
I'm taking away my viewing for this. Let's get into
Midway
this,
through, he's
guys.
just gonna throw his arms up and what's happening?
I'm liking the liking jokes already starting up.
Hey.
Scorpios, man,
Yeah, man.
talk to me, guys. Hollis, talk to me here.
I don't know, man. I mean, there's some words I have, but I'm gonna try to keep it brief. I'm trying to keep it short, but I got words.
Yeah, man. I want to hear your words.
I got some. Well, the first word is I.
Rain your words down upon me.
Rain them. Got a few, but only a few words. That's it.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
So this is actually me
Scorpios.
throwing it to you. Anybody want to?
Yeah. Your favorite idea in the game, Hollis? Most fun to play against? 10 out of 10 would definitely play again immediately after.
Scorpios.
Yeah.
I'll read it off. I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Scorpios defense systems persuasive power. This is a Weyland ID. It's 40 card minimum deck size, 15 influence. Whenever a runner card is trashed from any location, you may force the runner to remove it from the game instead of adding it to the heap. Use this ability only once per turn. The flavor text I love says, "Might makes right." Get him with the Tiger Woods.
It ain't lie.
Power.
It ain't lie. Corey, do you want to be our official scorekeeper?
Yeah. I'll work on this.
Anything in this brand new official FAQ about Scorpios?
No, but I have not been able to pour through every bit of the FAQ.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of blue in there.
Yeah,
So,
it's pretty much a whole new doc.
Yeah, someone got a little crazy with the blue.
Yeah, someone
the
went
blue
nuts
text.
with the blue highlighter, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star wipe. All right, Hollis, what's your opinion here on the Scorpios defense?
It really makes me happy, actually. I think that for the most part, a lot of the we've been saying for a long time that we're really hoping to see a better Weyland ID. That for a while it was pretty much just Blue Sun that was feasibly viable, and then we saw the return of an asset spam deck out of Weyland, right? That was sort of mirrored out of like an NBN concept, I believe. So it's nice to see that like now there's this truly like scary thing that happens if you utilize a whole bunch of cards that you trash in the game, because Scorpios just says, hey, like that's gone permanently, and so is that one. Is that a paperclip? Yeah, get it out. You don't need that. We're gonna remove that from the game. I think that it definitely adds this like really careful like level of play, right? Because every card that you touch, like a snare, a shock, a scorch, any card that you trigger that has a trash effect, playing a card, right? Like all of those things will remove a card from the game. So even when you're playing cards, you have to be very careful in considering, hey, am I going to play this as my first card? Because do I want them to remove this from the game, or do I hold off? Maybe I play another card first. They decide that's the card that needs to go, and then the second card stays. So I don't know. I really think it's cool. I think it's incredibly powerful.
Makes Max real sad.
Man, yeah, it does.
Yeah, is it even worth showing up with Max anymore when you know this is out there?
You just gotta duck it, right? But yeah, it's rough. It's a rough game. Gonna have a bad time. This is also the idea that makes housekeeping actually worth considering. Because it's just like, oh, you play something, trash something from your hand, bro.
Oh man, that's so rude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat. It opens up. I like it because I think it also asks a question in deck building on the runner side, because you see a lot of decks that run singleton breakers, and if Scorpios keeps growing and becoming more prevalent, I feel like you can't. It's a lot harder to get away with that, because the right time you lose that one breaker you need, and you're gonna have a bad time. I even saw, I think someone tried building it where it was like Scorpios and like nothing but sentries.
Yeah.
And so all they want to do is just kill your sentry breaker. Just get all your sentry breakers out of the game. And hey, it's so weird. You know what other sentries tend to do? Destroy your other breakers. So if you can't get through the sentries and then they just wreck everything else and wreck all your other programs, it's bad. So it's interesting. There's some really neat things you could do with this ID. And it's 40 cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Do you think that? What's your reasoning on the balance of the 40 instead of the 45? Do you think it needed that cut?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it maybe once. I don't know. I don't know if they want to try to have you play it like a rush style, to try to force the runner into keeping the pressure on to make them go into mistakes to fire the ID ability. Or you could play with a lower density to then have more of like your access trap type things like shocks and stuff like that game on a bit more, but I don't
know. So what do you guys like this? Are you reaching for it? Me personally, I think this ability is incredibly powerful. I think it shakes things up. Definitely on the corp side, it throws a big monkey wrench into typical runner builds that we've seen, and it's going to have you thinking about your play style and your moves, like Hollis was talking about earlier on. Although from my side of the fence, I think this is incredibly powerful, but I do like the Jemison builds better. I just think building that deck is just more fun.
But what's neat now, right, is now because this idea exists, there's now like two really neat angles you can go in Weyland that both seem like once they get all the tools and everything there, can compete.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're still seeing Jemison Fluck trying to be supported as this
Yeah, I still think it
cycle
needs
goes
there's
through.
some tools. I know they just had a spoiler for a card coming out in the next pack that I think will be a huge help for Jemison. So,
Yeah, I saw that
so I
as
think
well.
there's still
So
stuff coming.
I'm excited for what's coming down the pipe with that ID, and I just think it's more of an interesting deck build than what Scorpios is going to do. But that being said, this ability is just ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's cool. You get an idea that gets to like punch the runner in the face, and you don't have to do it with asset spam. Like,
I mean,
you just do it like retaliation cards. It's great.
so what's your side tangent? What is your thoughts on actually removing cards from the game?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Like, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's always been little by little, but I think, again, I think what it does is makes you consider tools that you play with as far as prevention.
Yeah.
Because I think a problem is you got an area where like recursion was so easy to do for some factions, and the cards people just splash cards and be like, whatever, like I've used my parasite, I'll just like deja vu it back, play it on you again, I'll clone chip it back in, whatever. And then now you've got an idea that's like, well, there goes your parasite.
Yeah.
He's not coming back.
But it's weird because this stretches back, and I don't know if this was on film somewhere. When I was talking with Stephen Woolley about this, and like, is it like a smashing the fourth wall kind of thing? Like, we're playing a game, and now you're saying like it has to be removed from the boundaries of this game, like.
Yeah, man, Weyland's is killing it all in the background. It's not coming back.
Right, but
They don't
I'm
miss.
just saying, is that a good mechanic overall? Like, from
This
a
is
game
like
design,
the Omar of IDs. You best come at the king. Yeah.
Hollis, you got any thoughts on this?
I think that the remove from game mechanic being like more prevalent, especially with this ID, is actually fine. Patrick Dennis makes a good point here. I think that in general, like the current state of the game allows runners to be very careless with some of their card choices because they know, for example, like Corey mentioned earlier, you can run a 1x of your breakers if you know you have like enough recursion. This sort of kind of turns it on its head. If with a card like with a card that we'll get to later that can trash a card that's in play, and other conditional effects that can trash cards in play, even like Power Shutdown. The unique thing that happens here is that if a Scorpios deck really, really wants to target one card and say that card is gone from the game, that's it. Destroy that card and get it out of the game. And you're only running a 1x of breakers, that's pretty significant. I think that it's actually a good thing to have the runners kind of change up their game plan, to be like, to consider, all right, in case I face Scorpios, I need a game plan for this. I need the deck slots or, whatever, dedicated for this. To me, it's really no different than any other kind of thing you plan for. Because I think in general, we were gravitating a lot towards cards like, goodness gracious, Paperclip anyway, right? Because it allowed you to run that 1x and just kind of be reckless with it. And now you don't even have that anymore. So you have to be careful. And I think that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, think about the little impact like Arc Lockdown had. People were like worried about it.
Right.
And now you kind of get an even worse type thing built in with an ID that's just removing cards like on both turns of the game, potentially. It's just like shoveling cards out of the game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Do you think that's really on the corp to build for this? Like, if you just kind of build a standardized Weyland build or whatnot here, how many cards do you think are actually being removed from the game? How many times do you feel this ID is triggering, or how many times do you feel you need it to trigger to get your, quote unquote money's worth out of it? Hollis, what do you think?
Well, I mean, if you think about the
Thanks,
runner
Hollis.
does a lot of things. Sorry, Hollis is. Go ahead, Hollis.
No, well,
I was just saying, if you think about how many times the runner trashes stuff themselves, like they do stuff and it trashes.
Yeah.
You actually have a lot of opportunities to fire this.
Like, what do
this
you mean
idea.
if you're writing over a program?
So think about some of like your limited time stuff. So things like daily casts or Earthrise. I mean, you have some things that are on timers that trash. Temujin's trashes itself when it gets emptied.
Yep.
Then you have things like SMCs. I mean, there's just a lot of things that have like trash effects that the runner will usually do to advance, to try to catch up or race you. And those are triggers you can do. And not to mention anything else that you put in place that might discard cards or trash cards in the runner. I mean, then you even got some of those decks I've been playing with, like Caligoda, just to sit there and just be able just to mill stuff. I mean, there's a lot of options to actually make this ability fire on a pretty consistent basis.
Yeah, and I agree there. I don't think you kind of have to do a lot of work, and I think it's going to be disruptive enough even after like
and Patrick clarified here that events trash after they're done.
Mm-hmm.
So the runner plays an event, you could be like later.
Yeah.
It definitely does something unique. Like Corey said, I love the sort of wrench it throws in the way you evaluate like reducing your hand size. A common I guess comparison I used to always think, or I thought about when I saw this card, and I would talk about is that. So, like, very early in the game, for example, you might have 2 copies of a card that are not immediately useful. So, like, in my head is a card like Inside Job, right? Now, on the runner side, maybe you run 2x of Inside Job and you run a Same Old Thing. So, Same Old Thing, obviously, might get removed from the game for another, when Scorpios triggers for another event. But right now, at this stage, early in the game, you have 2 Inside Jobs. Now, under normal circumstances, you would say to yourself, I don't need both these Inside Jobs, so let me just trash one at the end of turn, and I'll save one. But this sort of causes a dilemma because if you look at the way Scorpios works, obviously, if the corp has not trashed already, by the time you get to end of turn, when you trash that second Inside Job, they can go, no, remove that from the game. Is it still trash if you have more than 5 in your hand, or is it discard?
You discard.
Okay, so that doesn't actually work. Then never mind. But I guess I can only really reserve it to the scenarios that Corey had mentioned, where it's going to be like cards that trash themselves or self-terminate. When you've used them, you have to make a unique evaluation if you want to keep the extra copies of that card, because if you take any net damage whatsoever, you completely lose them. You got to be careful. And in general, again, it's always been an issue that runners are very reckless because the game doesn't really offer a lot of danger because ice so rarely triggers. This ability is volatile enough to where I think it causes you to be a lot more careful with choices. And I like that. I mean, to me, it's just the same as when you consider playing against Jinteki and like, sure, gambles all of a sudden aren't cards that are really playable. They're now food for you taking the net damage because money won't be the problem. Yeah. So I don't know. I dig it.
Yeah. And the neat thing also about the ID ability is it's not the first time. So you can actually you can be a little selective when you want to fire the ID ability. It's just once per turn. So if the runner, and so there could be some strategy where the runner tries to bait you. They try to give you an option to remove from the game so then they can play what they really want to get through and actually have it go into their heap. But if you get really good at the ID, you get to say, like, no, I know this is about to tick off. This is the card I want to get rid of. I want to take this out of the game. Yep. You're not gonna give me like some Garbo card. So
I'm gonna I don't live in a glass house, so I will cast the first stone. Talk me down from this, guys. I'm going to tell you that this is a great card. And the reason I think that is for 2 reasons. I think that it's very disruptive right now. And it's going to force people to play on the edge and rethink all of those cards that they're putting in. I think this is going to be an ID that you're definitely going to see in competitive play, especially if you have regionals. It was just apparently throwing some good domination up at the Seattle one. And I have a feeling that this is almost one of the things that maybe a month, 2 months from now, we might be looking at this as a mistake. Like, this might be a little too overpowered in the competitive world, just because the templating of all of the older cards saying trash like Corey you went through, right? Like daily cast, you know, when it's done counting down, trash it, right? Events, trash after use, right? Like just because of that templating, I see this as, you know, I see this as a problem.
It isn't 17 influence, so let's take a moment and think about that.
Well,
but there's a part of me. There's a part of me that's like, okay, so if I'm gonna give a higher powered curve ID to Weyland, the faction that has been like struggling for what feels like the last like 3 years, I am completely okay with this.
Yep.
Because in my mind, you know, it's about time.
Yeah.
Some people just like to watch the world burn, I'll tell you that.
That's right. You know what? They've waited. They've waited so long.
They really have.
But you know, this is...
Don't take this away from them.
You know, I don't think you should go from the bottom to the top, right? Like...
Whoa. Hey, there's a lot of Anarch players that would argue that with you.
Right,
Scorpios is basically the Drake of Netrunner.
This is like what Blizzard did with Shaman, right? Like everyone was like, you know, if you're not a Hearthstone player, right? Like where they're like, oh, Shaman is garbage, Shaman is garbage, Shaman is garbage. Then all of a sudden they're like, okay, they released a bunch of cool Shaman cards, and now Shaman was like, boom, on the tops, right? And then people are complaining about it, right? Like I have a feeling all of those people that have been saying make Weyland great again are gonna come up against this card and be like, what the fuck was I saying?
Yeah, man, they're gonna like take their hats off.
Yeah.
Be like, fuck, what have I done?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
you give him an inch and Weyland just took a mile, man. Like this is crazy. This is, and I don't know, you guys haven't said yet, but to me this is great. This is that level of ID right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely. I'll say this. So the unique thing is that Scorpios is very good at this. So I guess what I would need to see more is I need to see if the agenda scoring or, you know, kill strat behind it is good enough to either is good enough to consistently choke the runner out, right? Choke the runner's options out. And if it's consistent enough to do that, the next question is, you know, like what's the counterplay on the runner side? Like if the runner goes all in on his mini protection, they run the sacrificial constructs, they run, you know, they run the, you know, multiple sets of breakers or what have you. If they can still keep up or they can't keep up, that'll be like what tells me how good this is competitively. So people were mentioning that it plays very well, but of course I think that it's early enough to where I do not think runners have used every tool available to them to be as resilient as they could be versus this deck versus something like HB asset spam, like things like that, or, you know, or MBN assets, like anything like that. So
yeah, people haven't got the playtime in with this yet, right? Hollis,
right.
You're correct, man.
Right. So I think, and so the question is, when people start fine-tuning decks and they start saying, I want to have the sacrificial construct or whatever new card may be coming out that may protect my programs or what have you, I want to see how good this deck is when you can't go programs. Obviously, it's good because you remove available tools that they try to get back. But programs to me are like the big deal, right? Like the programs, losing all your breakers is how you just completely, like, you can't do anything. Like you're just stuck. So if you have the appropriate answers for that, so you don't get stuck, can it still hang? And that's what I want to see.
So is this? So to me, I think this is the ID that you're going to have to play against, and you're going to have to come up with a plan against the most. I mean, sit down and put your runner deck through the Scorpios ringer, because shit got to change, man.
Yeah. If you're not ready for it and you come against a good player with it, you're gonna have a bad time.
Is it even worth it to build in recursion anymore with this?
I mean, I think like Sakon's probably the strongest towards it.
And we know it's not rotating.
Sure, man. And yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, cool, man. And then yeah, so I don't know, sure. And then so yeah, that seems good.
Well, so I mean, let's go mark it.
Me?
I'm gonna go with great.
Okay, that's Hollis. I thought you were there too.
I'm in great, fam. I'm in great, guys. I'm in great.
Man,
I'm in
there.
great. I know it's rare, but I'm in great. I'll take it. I'll take all that flack. Oh man.
Yeah, we done rung that one to death, right?
Yeah.
All right, what's next here?
All right, I got this one. Armored servers, agenda security, 4 to advance, score 2 points. Place 1 agenda counter on armored servers when you score it. Spend a hosted agenda counter. For the remainder of the run, the runner must trash a card from his or her grip as an additional cost to jack out or break a subroutine. Use this ability only during your run. Yep.
Yeah, if you want to make a 4-2, this is how you make a 4-2.
Yeah.
This is a 4-2, guys.
So I think this is supposed to be like the Weyland Nisei, right? Is that the idea behind it?
You guys don't like what? You guys don't like corporate war as a neutral? Hello?
What?
All right. Well, sorry, Hollis got disconnected. So yeah, I have not had to play against this a lot, so I don't. But reading it sounds terrifying.
So
not really cool.
So here's the breakdown of where I see something like this coming into the world. As we look at this as a living tier list, I think that my first impression is that if you look at the bottom, this is really good. If you look at the top, I think that's what turns people off. I think people don't like to break up their already defined agenda density breakdowns or agenda makeups, whatever you call that spread of IDs or spread of agendas. So having a 4-2 in there, I like this. I like this card a lot, but it's only going to fit into certain Weyland builds. And I don't think you're going to see it all over the place. I mean, I might be wrong. As the rest of the cycle flushes out, we might see something else, complement or change the Weyland agenda suite. But to me, it's like so, I don't know what the word is, but it's not very common to see people mess with the breakdowns.
Yeah. I think I saw Ben try to play this in a Titan deck because you get the extra counter and stuff on it when you score it. So you're getting more mileage out of it.
One counter.
But I think the consistency is where you run into a problem. So being able to, because Weyland decks love just to give away agendas. That's just like their favorite thing. Just top deck R&D agendas all day long. But if you can find a way to consistently score this, it's pretty strong. So, I mean, I like it, but I do agree too that it's not going to be very common, at least until people figure out a better way to make it more consistent, where they can score these out.
So like, what do you do? What do you put it into? Like, where do you see it, Corey? Blue Sun.
Blue Sun, I think, is probably one of the best. Titan, of course, would like it because if they can come up with the decks that can score it.
Because to me, like,
this seems like super disgusting if you can do this somehow in like a Garen, and then you hit those like tour guides or stuff like that, and they have like all these subs, and you're just like, yeah, man, there you go.
Yeah, but then because to me, like, it's going to be a weird trade-off, right? Because the runner must trash a card from his or her grip as an additional cost to jack out or break a subroutine, right? To me, it's like, if I'm going against in what do you say, like this server's or this deck's optimal scenario, is it a Glacier? And
I
then,
mean, probably.
and then
Or
so
maybe
I'm
it's
like,
Rush.
right. So then I see. I think it is. I think it's going to be a low rush deck that makes the best use out of this. Because what are you going to do?
So-
Like I'm like, okay, run this, four ice deep server, and you're like, let me use my armored counter, and I'm like, jack out, lose one card. Too bad your token's gone. Rerun this server.
So maybe like Jemison would be a really good one to play around with this, because they can probably score it out of hand, or have an easy way just to fast advance this out, so they can get it, use the counter.
Yep, and I like that. I like that play.
And then it allows them to apply pressure to where you're trying to get in, because they can install stuff with not necessarily having to advance it. So that might be a really good deck this will probably fit into, maybe. I do agree that it has to fight with slots for the agenda suites. So I do think there's a lot of like predefined agenda setups, and having this squeeze in as a 4/2 would be a hard sell.
Yeah, I think anyone who looks at it is gonna be well rewarded for it, but I don't know if a lot of people like to break the mold.
Yeah, if you value it, if you build a deck that is going to be like a true Weyland, a Weyland deck that actually wants to score agendas and win the game this way, because I mean lately it's just been just kill the runner, right? If you build a deck that's meant to score agendas, and you can rationalize this basically is your pressure cooker version of Nisei Mark II, then I think you can justify the slot. I think if you're playing, for example, Scorpios, like whatever, the way you trash here is not worth playing this over something else necessarily. Right. But I think for sure if I have a Glacier Weyland deck, that's probably my idea or something similar.
And then punitive next turn.
Yeah, just straight up, you scored 4 points, man. That's really good. Punitive. Get him. I don't know.
So what are you guys thinking then? You wanna put this in the sand somewhere?
I mean, I would start with above average.
That's where I kind of see it fit.
I could be persuaded to push the good, but I think above average at least.
I just put in good.
What's that?
I would put in good.
In good. Jeez, Hollis, you're Mr. Positive today.
I know, man. What's going on?
Had some coffee before I got here. Yeah. No. I think that it belongs in the lower, because it's Weyland. I want you to understand. Like, I feel like it's skewed because it is Weyland, but because it is Weyland, and we have seen so few great options for Weyland, right? Since what lies ahead. Yeah. I would like to put it in the lowest part of good. I think one of the lower parts of good.
Well, my initial thoughts was to be an above average card. So, I mean, that vote kind of swings it down if you're actually at the bottom of good.
That's true. That is true.
So we can sit armored servers right there. All right, next up.
What do we got?
Illicit sales.
Ugh.
Agenda expansion. God, that artwork is horrendous. Anyway, advance 3, score 1. When you score illicit sales, you may take 1 bad publicity. Gain 3 credits for each bad publicity that you have.
Card's automatically great because it uses bad publicity. Next.
I'm gonna stop you there.
I can't argue that though.
This card is not good. No. So it's a 3/1. Okay.
Yeah. Problem. Got it.
Okay. Then you score it. You can take a bad pub.
Nope.
So you're agreeing to take up. So usually when you take a bad pub, right? You want a really cool ability.
Yes.
And this cool ability is gain 3 credits for each bad publicity you have.
Nope.
So is the idea it wants you to get a deck where you just load up on bad publicity and you're like, oh man, this is my money-making card, even though, and for you doing this, you've been giving the runner reoccurring money for multiple runs, like the entire game, and your trade out is to, no. terrible. Do not play.
Like,
throw these cards away.
yeah, like, why not just be profiteering? Like, or maybe if you're gonna play, I remember that for a while people were playing those weird like Argus decks, right, where there was like all these 3/1s, but now that deck isn't even functional anymore because of Aaron Moron. Like, you can't even play the deck anymore. So I don't know. It's clearly bad, right?
No, it's terrible. Even as bad artwork. I mean, even the artwork's bad. Like, this card had like no effort, just no effort put into it. It was just like, hey guys, I don't know what happened here. We're gonna use this like cartoony, like, I don't know. I just don't know why you would ever play this card.
Yeah.
Because like even, it's not even worth trying to layer the trigger the effect. Like, no.
Dragon, Dagonon Bane. I almost said Dragon Bane. Dagonon Bane even says like he would rather run 3 profiteerings and 3 hostile takeovers before he ran this card, and I can't help but agree. Right, profiteering just seems so much better than this.
Yeah, because if you're gonna gain bad pub to make money, go ahead and go all in and know that you're gaining a crap load of credits, as opposed to I'm gaining a bad pub and then 3 credits, so I just made back what I spent on the agenda. Then it's like 6 credits. Okay, 9 credits. Cool. Well, the runner's definitely gotten way more than 9 credits worth of use out of the bad pub.
Yeah, hell
that I've been giving them already. Like, no. Sorry, Jameson. You go tell us how cool you think this card is.
You know what, though? I don't, because I mean,
okay.
You only need. You look at the 3/1s. You look at the 3/1s that are already available to you, and there's just better options.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
right?
yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, so because if you're looking at so already there's no super powerhouse. I'm going to put all 1-pointers into a Weyland deck. There's really no point in that. So, if you're looking for that 1-pointer fast advance, you already have a 2/1. Right?
Yeah.
You already have the, hostile takeover. Right? So you can score that, that government contracts and then the hostile takeover to win the game. You don't need to, drop this stupid sales.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone did make a good point. Profiteering will be leaving in rotation.
And you still won't play this card.
And we still won't play this card.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. For you, okay, so basically the math breakdowns, for you to get value out of this card where you think it is, you've already taken enough bad publicity that you've basically handed the runner the game.
Yeah.
Right. They're making runs. Every run they make, they're not paying any money.
Right.
So
profiteering is, I feel it's good in a Jinteki style build on occasion because they want you to come in. I've never seen Weyland builds that are like, come in and take these agendas. Yeah. Right? Because they also, the Jinteki side is also, balanced out with the ambushes and traps and stuff, right? So it's like, could be an agenda, could not. Oh man, you've just installed advanced. What do I do? Blah, blah, blah. I just feel it's not needed in this. And plus, there's other ways for Weyland to be making money.
Yeah. Just, no.
So Hollis?
If I was, let me tell you like Exhibit would tell you. Yo, dog! No, I'm kidding. Put this shit in terrible. Put this in terrible immediately. Don't look back.
Terrible. I will vote for the terrible move.
All right. I'm not looking back. That's all I'll say.
Man, Dean, if you say Iris, oh my god.
Yeah, I guess it being.
What is that?
False.
He said play Iris. God, that's embarrassing.
All right, you ready? We ready?
Yeah.
We're almost. Graft. 5/3. Oh, here we go.
I can't wait.
When you score Graft, you may search your deck for up to 3 cards, reveal them, and add them to HQ. Shuffle R&D.
Sea Source, Scorch, and Bad Times.
No. Got it. Just throw the one random card just to confuse
Got
them
him.
every single time.
Got
Just
him.
always have like some really stupid card that's just like, all right, I got it. So here's my LC source, my Scorch, and defense construct. They're just like, what? You paid influence, yeah, man. You know what I'm doing over here. It's probably best you don't run. So,
So bad. So bad.
So yeah, so Graft. What do you think of it as a 5-3? Do you think it's a cool ability to try to score this out?
Well,
Okay, so right away we'll say not in every deck.
right.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, the thing that comes to mind when I looked at this right away is maybe if you're doing some kind of fast advanced Jemison stuff and you needed
To be able to put the tools in.
right, and you needed to bring the tools back in your hand, right? If you're running multiple copies of some kind of operations or whatnots, and if you're able to put this down, do your shenanigans, fast advance that 5-3, get back, or not get back, get other copies into your hand, to be able to set yourself up to fast advance the next cards and just chain across the board like that. But
Yeah. I feel like that's the only instance that I like this 5-3. I think the other thing you could say is you could maybe use it in like the old style like Glacier Kill where you score it and then you can put all the threat cards in your hand, but then you're going back to the Weyland like 5-3s and just get stolen, and then you just lose the game.
Damn.
Because they should just be like GFIs and stuff like that.
Well, all right.
Sorry,
So,
Glowfoot's a good card.
so what I wish, I will say this: what I wish the card was instead is I wish the card instead gave you 3 tokens that you could spend to search R&D for. But that's not what it is, right? It's when you score it, search your deck for up to 3 cards. Now, here's the thing. GFI is really good, and I feel like, of course, it's like the staple, like 5-3 for pretty much like any Glacier deck, right? But what I do like about Graft is, okay, tutoring 1 card is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what I would think of for like tutoring 3 cards. Like, because obviously if there's like a combo, if there's a kill combo, I'm sure I have like one of the pieces in hand. So when I search for 3 cards, I'm like, all right, well, I guess the tag card, the second piece of the kill, and a smoothie. I don't know, like whatever I want to like search for out of my deck, I get 3. I can get 3 different cards. I actually think it's incredibly powerful. But it suffers the same issue as every 5-3 in the game, which is it's not GFI. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I mean,
It's
there's a reason
not
why.
GFI, and it doesn't have a built-in defense mechanism.
Right, like it's not GFI. If it's not GFI and not the upcoming Jinteki 5-3 or 5-2 that we know that's coming. It's
No,
like
it's 5-3.
it's 5-3.
Avocado.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if it's not that, if it doesn't protect itself, this is really risky. But I will give props for this. I've said before that my biggest issue with 5-3s and like 4-2s in this game and 3-1s is that I always feel like 3-2s are so powerful in the game that maybe their ability should be weak, and then the 5-3 ability, the 4-2 ability, and the 3-1 ability need to be awesome. I don't know how much more awesome searching your deck for any 3 cards is. That's pretty damn powerful. Just getting to search your deck for 3 cards. Like the moment you score this, I got them. I got 3 cards. The 3 cards I need right now are in my hand.
Doesn't Weyland already have though like a lot of tutor for stuff though?
So they have Atlas, right? Like Atlas will do it. But
But even just for like events, right? Because they've got localized like product or the product line.
Yes.
They can put like all copies of something, and then you've also got the double that lets you search an event and then play it.
Okay,
So-
yeah.
So for some reason
Also,
the name. Yeah,
They can use whatever the neutral 3-1 is. What's the name of that card?
Localized product
the
line,
world's-
that was neutral,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
right? So I mean, if you're
And it's 3 influence.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
basically,
They're not
Graft
stealing
has,
localized product line.
yeah. But like basically, Graft has like built into it. It
Yeah.
gives the recursion level of Atlas, technically at a +1 card.
Oh shit! Nashville just came back and dominated. For those, sorry, side threats.
Yeah.
I just
I mean,
refreshed my
Atlas.
stream.
Atlas has. It's okay, man. You're good. And Atlas has the ability of like waiting, right? You can use it at the best moment.
Right.
So, and there's a lot of options for Atlas for getting the cards you need, to adding cards to your hand when there's like a big access coming up. Like, there's a lot of versatility in the Atlas counter. Graft is like you score it, you need to decide if you're going to use it, and then you have to show those cards to the runner.
Right. I just basically I guess in my head, like in the world of 5/3s, I think GFI is like going to obviously be the card you go with, right? Like it's always going to be, the go-to 5/3 in the game.
Yeah.
But I do like having like within the Weyland faction a very powerful 5/3. I feel like comparatively to GFI, the 5/3s normally don't hit the power level enough to where you can even justify them most of the time.
Why do we have to reveal though, Hollis?
Yeah, man.
Well, you reveal the cards,
Yeah.
so they know how bad you're about to. I don't want to say a word. I wanted to keep it kid friendly.
Is that like the Weyland like threat? Like, look at what I just got.
Yeah,
Look at this.
mid-season scorch.
Yeah.
You know what though? I like reveal. I like the reveal keyword on certain searches, right? I like it on Fast Track because you have to go find an agenda, right? So for that kind of example, if you are searching for a specific card or like type of card, yeah, show it. But if I can search my deck for any 3 cards, I can't cheat. Just make sure I have 3 cards when I pull them out, right?
Got it. It's good.
What?
No, it's 3 cards. So yeah. Anyway, so I don't think this is a bad card. Like, by all means, like I think this is a good agenda, but
Yeah, it's going to be very focused on the deck build. It's not an auto include everywhere. I mean, so I don't know. I think that it's not good. It's not bad. I mean, so I gotta just give it my initial review as just an average 5/3. This is just an average card. You guys want to pull it up a bit?
I was gonna put it in above average, but
yeah, I could lean to above average. But I would put it low. I would put it low and it would be below
Yeah.
on servers.
All right,
yeah, for sure.
I got that. Next.
All right, here we go. We're just keeping it rolling tonight, folks. Illegal Arms Factory. Asset Facility Illicit. Res 3, Trash 6. Whoa.
6
Influence
trash.
2.
Ridiculous.
Man, it must have an amazing ability for 6 trash. If the runner trashes Illegal Arms Factory while it's installed, you take a Bad Publicity.
Love seeing Bad Publicity making a comeback,
Yeah.
right?
When your turn begins, gain 1 credit and draw 1 card.
Huh.
There you go. There you go.
That's pretty good, though.
Card draw, gain credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would normally cost the runner 6 credits to turn this off and then give you a bad pub.
Yeah. All right, but here's the deal, though. Here's the rub.
2 influence.
The rub.
Here's the rub. Wait, say it again? Yeah, Jameson.
That's it.
It's two. I mean, come on. How is it not 1? How is it not? No. The rub is that it costs 3. Now, I would agree that a card is probably worth more. A card is worth more than a credit. So if it fires once, sure, I could argue that if it fires 1 time, I agree. You have probably paid for itself from the click you get for the card draw and the credit. Because I think often you want to do like click 1 on the corp. If you're gonna draw, is gonna be on click 1. This card says gain a free click to draw a card and gain 1, which is cool with me.
So what if you defend it, right? Do you think if you defend it, and then you're just gaining money on cards?
Yeah, but defending this is a problem to me though. Because like at a
Why?
6,
You're playing Weyland. You got barriers, man.
yeah, but like at a
Yeah, berries for days.
at a 6 trash cost.
Yeah. So
here's the question.
So what if
Here's
it's like
the
a spider web, right? What if it's a spider web? Or just something that costs like a couple credits.
Like a
So then
hive.
Sure, we'll say Hive. That's great. Hive is a great example.
Yeah, Hive would be appropriate.
So what would it cost if you use Paperclip to get in and track? How much would it cost you to then make that run?
A lot. Yeah, right? It would cost actually 5 credits, and then you have to pay... So it would cost you 11 credits, but you make... So the equation's weird. It would cost you 11 credits to get in, assuming they don't, no agendas are scored. But then they would gain a bad pub.
And then, obviously, because you're playing a Weyland, you then play Witness Tampering. Got it.
Like, basically, I feel like this fits into the same weird niche that, what is the ambient card?
You talking about the Reality 3D?
Reality 3D, that's what it is.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, I could play Reality 3D, and, like, if I know that I'm playing a deck that has a lot of tags, all right,
So,
I see the issue.
So, counterpoint, though, because I think in order for Reality 3D to get maximum efficiency, the runner has to be tagged.
They have to be tagged, yes.
So the runner doesn't have to do anything. You just res it
And gain a card credit.
And gain a card and credit. And at that point, you're telling the runner, you need to deal with this.
Right.
If you deal with it, sure, you get a bad pub as payback. But if you don't deal with it, I'm just gaining a card and a credit every turn. And if you're playing a Weyland deck that likes to put pressure on the economy or to threaten kill, like, if you put a decent piece of ice in front of it, that's a huge credit swing for you to come deal with it. And you may not be able, like, if they time it right, they could just be like, nah, man, I'm going to get the fire list at least for a couple turns.
I think
it's also not unique.
I see.
So
Yeah, but, like, it's not a May either. Ugh.
yeah, man, just gain all the credits, draw all the cards.
Draw all the cards.
Just draw all the cards.
It's like draw 2.
I think you can't be too hung up on the bad publicity aspect of it. I think this is a good pressure card in Weyland.
Yeah. Man, I think it's good because it doesn't have like a condition you need to inflict on the runner to be able to use it. I think it's a pretty good card.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I think if you're sitting across the table and
it
gets rezzed on you, like, you're gonna be like, oh, that's gut reaction. This or what's the undefendable? The capital investors or whatever. If you saw one of these across you, which one feels a lot more annoying? It would be this card, right?
Yeah.
Well, capital investors... Oh, fuck.
No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. It's the one that just like drips in like 2-3 credits every turn.
Yeah, the one that you can't have a defense.
The political. Yeah.
But that one has no... You can have ice in front of that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's why this one is...
So it's easier to deal with.
Yeah. I think this is good.
Chat, you're going to influence me on this decision. Chat, what do you think? Do you think this card... Chat, where would you rank this card? We'll give it a little time for the stream to catch up, but I want to know.
Come on, chat.
Chat, you are deciding this for me.
Well, I don't know. They're gonna have to sway it down hard because Corey says good. I thought this was good right away. I think this is a great.
Oh,
I think this is.
Thanks, Wesley. It's Commercial Bankers Group. I don't know why that just blanked out.
Yeah, like that card's so good. How could we forget that card?
I think this is a good pressure card in Weyland.
Yeah, I like it. I think.
What say you?
What say you? This chat is fucking good. Thanks. Let's go.
Above average.
Good.
Good. Average. Above average.
Hollis, you're gonna make a choice soon.
Average. Oh, good.
Good.
I'm gonna go ahead. Okay, but I have to choose the mean. Ooh, that changes it up.
Oh man, look there.
Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't change it up because someone. It looks like the mean is above average. And it looks like it's probably mid above average.
Yeah, and so that means that Corey and I's goods pushes it up.
Yep. We made it. We made it.
There you go.
Real
All right,
good, movie, low good though.
What's
You get it at the
after
bottom
what's
good.
after Arms Factory? Mr.
Okay.
Stone.
Oh, our favorite.
let's let
Mr.
Hollis
Stone.
do this one.
Yeah, let's take it away.
Oh God, Mr. Stone, asset executive, res 2, trash 2, influence 4. When the runner takes one or more tags, do 1 meat damage. Sorry, the flavor text. VP of retirements or pensions. So is that HR or accounting? Both. Both.
This is not
Man.
when I was reading the novels, this is not what I pictured Mr. Stone to look like though. So.
Right? Yeah, yeah, totally not at all. But it's fine. Both.
Yeah. So what's your gut reaction on this card, huh? Hmm?
I mean, like, you have to build very, very specifically around it, right? At 4 influence, they don't really want it in NBN.
No.
Weird.
It's crazy how that works, right? It's crazy.
Someone will try it.
It's 2 to res and only 2 to trash.
It's hard.
And it's unique.
It's hard out there
Right.
for a Stone.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one guy.
Just one man.
He's doing all these multiple jobs. He's all over the place.
In general, I feel like if you're gonna play this in Weyland right, you gotta stack those tags up heavy. You gotta run the price sec. You gotta run probably the Data Raven or the Gutenberg and the mid season. Like, all of your efforts have to go into making sure you tag the runner as often as possible to even make this card worth the inclusion. And if you somehow influence this into NBN, then same deal. You still got to go all in on cards that tag. Granted, they're in faction for you, but the deck slots have to be dedicated. And at only a 2 trash cost, you're gonna have to protect this like it was a agenda. I mean, they're gonna trash this immediately. It's a unique card. You only have 1 res at a time.
It's hard that it's an asset. Is that reading between the lines what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to be a gangster when you're,
But I guess what if this is like the strategy of like super good assets being low trash cost to make them, I don't know, more balanced, and then the less impactful ones have a higher trash cost.
Why can't he have Chairman Hero stats?
Because you're not scoring points off taking out Mr. Stone. Nobody notices when he's gone.
That's true. Also, they gave that stat to Illegal Arms Factory, the 6 trash.
Yeah, they did. That's right. It took the six stat.
It has the 6 trash.
But you get a bad pub out of that too. So there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I can definitely see decks that build around it where this could be just another way to ping damage. And it's like every instance of them taking a tag, right? So it's not like they have one instance where they'll get like tags, like a bunch of tags, but then if they hit something, they'll take another tag, he'll fire again and go through there. I think it's hard to kind of orchestrate that though. So, I don't know. It feels kind of like average to me. I don't think it's a bad card, but
No, I think there's gonna be decks that Stone's gonna do work.
yeah.
You know, if you wanna dump some ridiculous mid-seasoning.
Some mid-seasoning on top.
Yeah. What's that dude called?
The
Salt Bay?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, if you're gonna drop some seasoning like that,
Jeez.
then over here you're gonna be taking some meat damage.
So goofy.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's neither here nor there. I mean, it's not overpowered.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh wait.
Nothing.
What's okay?
I'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
Jesus, guy's looking ahead.
So what's your rating, Alice?
I actually think it's below average.
That's a respectable vote.
Yeah.
I respect your decision.
I would call it average. Corey?
I mean, I already stated I put him in average, but he's low. I mean, I think he's on the border, but I think it's an average card.
All right, we'll note it. What's next?
Oh, well, the next card is a Bloodletter. And no, this isn't a fancy Warhammer demon. Obscure reference. So anyway,
All right.
Copyright. Ice Sentry Destroyer, Res 3, Strength 4, Influence 2. One subroutine. The runner must either trash one program or trash the top 2 cards from his or her stack. So immediately, hey, check it out. It's above Strength 3. It's a Sentry that has a pretty low res cost. Okay, I'm liking it so far. And the subroutine trashes programs are mills 2 cards from the top of the runner's deck.
Or trash a program.
Yeah. Well, seems good. Seems like a good subroutine.
Unfortunately, the runner makes the choice, right? So
it does. They do get to make the choice.
But that being said, I mean, to move this one along quicker, I think this is good.
I don't know if I would put it in above average. I think that's where I would lean, but I think I like it as a piece of ice. I don't know. I could see it as good. I mean, Scorpios seems awesome. Like, that's a nasty thing to hit in Scorpios. Because it's like, if you can't immediately break it, your decision is almost like, I'm deciding which breaker I want to lose for the rest of the game, or I'm going to mill stuff, and the runner and the corp might get a better card to mill out of the game. I could go with good. I can go with good.
I think the res cost to the strength is alone to to keep it up there. Even in Weyland, to have like just a little, a little ping ice like this, that does a little something, or if they do have their Sentry up, at least it's a couple credits here, a couple credits there,
Right, they're going to have to pay through it.
Yeah, right. It's kind of doing what Architect did once it was rezzed up, right? I mean, this can also obviously be destroyed and stuff like that, but at least it's a couple credits, and if you can get this early game and pop a surprise, it's a great investment for return.
Mm-hmm. How you feeling, Hollis? Where's
above
this
average? Above average.
I mean, that was my initial
yeah.
bet. So I think that's probably the right call.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I feel like it's probably good in Scorpios, but when I think about it anywhere else, I'm like, I don't even. It's I don't know.
Okay. Hey man.
Hey man, do you?
All right. Next up.
Man. All right, we've got Colossus. Ice Sentry Destroyer, Res 6, Strength 4, Influence 2. Colossus can be advanced and has +1 Strength for each advancement token on it. That already is pretty cool.
Yep.
If Colossus has 3 or more advancement tokens on it, resolve the parenthetical text instead. Oh wow, he gets both of those benefits. First sub is give the runner 1 tag or give the runner 2 tags. And the second one is trash a program or trash 1 program and 1 resource.
Well, so already, what are you guys feeling? Is this is to the positive side of things or the negative side?
So check this out. So it's a 6.
Oh, wow.
It's a 6/4. But then if you effectively have paid 9, like you've advanced him 3 times, he's in a strength 7 that now has like a gain 2 tags or trash a program and a resource.
Huh.
How's that make you feel, Hollis?
It makes me feel like this art is fantastic on the card, though. Hello?
Hey! I appreciate the art shout out.
Yeah, it looks really good. Like this art looks phenomenal.
I think like to have a piece of ice that does both of the advancement triggers.
Yeah.
Like The only thing it's not doing right is like lowering res cost, but
Right.
that's fine because it's gaining strength, which is pretty awesome.
Could you
while improving it? Yeah.
Could you imagine though if they start doing that? Like, could you imagine if they have another card that's like, for every advancement, its res cost is reduced by 3 and it gains +1 strength, or reduced by 3 and it has 3 advancements, it gets these extra. Like, what? Hello?
Yeah, start mixing those advancement abilities up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a really cool space to play around in.
I agree. I will say this. Sorry.
To me, this is a thumbs up. Right?
You think so?
I think this may not be the one we'd look at, down the road and say, this is what advanceable ice needs to be. But this is the one that kind of forks over and says that, hey, they're on the right track with it.
Yep.
I think this is a positive ice. This is a positive step in the right direction. We know that you can't evaluate this card to say, like, I'm going to hard res this for 6, and then it's going to cost me a credit to put advancement tokens on it to get the strength up, to get those parentheses subroutines to take off, because Weyland has things in it, or there's things in the game that I can, move advancement tokens around and do things, and I just think
plus you have like dedication ceremony.
Yeah.
Right? You can dedicate it. And then there's also, what's the upgrade that can also like move advancement counters around, or the little guy who can, is that Anson Rose?
Mm-hmm. So I do think,
yes.
I do think that there is, more to this card than meets the eye. And
he's like a transformer.
Yeah, look at him there. I think this is, like I said, it's not going to be the be all end all of advanceable ice, but this is the one that forked us into the right direction. We're back on the right track if they keep making cards like this, and if I have advanceable, like, to influence, you can use it out of faction. Try it in a tenant deck. I don't know if it's any good right now, but I mean,
just try it, please.
Yeah,
you're playing tenant. Do it.
Give it a go.
Be the cool kid,
right? But guys, am I like? What are you thinking here? I think it's at least above average.
I mean, I'm in the good above average area. I don't feel like there'll be many situations where I get a Colossus resed against me, and I'm not like, oh, that's like early on, yeah, it's only a strength 4, right, with 2 subs, but that can get going from strength 4 to like just to turn them on with strength 7. So you got strength 7 sentry. That seems a little disgusting, and he can keep going.
Yeah.
Like, sky's the limit.
So
there you go. Because we built it, get ready.
Right.
I mean, I think it's good. I'm for one ready to get to receive the forking that Colossus is going to be handing out.
So
the colossal forking.
Let me ask you this: would you pay? Hold on, I'm doing math. Sort of, kind of.
I've paid 9 for a Susan, just to redirect.
But would you pay 12 for Susan?
You're playing Weyland.
I know. But basically my question is, for the abilities on Colossus, would you pay 12? When we consider the clicks taken and the credits taken, at minimal, would you pay 12 for it? Because now it's skewed though, because the investment from clicks isn't done all at once, right? The investment from, you basically res it, you get a small piece of ice, and then you get the actual Colossus.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're playing with this, you're also playing with tools that can move around advancement counters or trigger some of the advancement counters. That if you're just straight up paying 12 for it,
it's like garbage.
I mean, I don't think it's straight like bar, because you don't have to do it all at once. That's the thing, though, right?
Right.
You're not. It's not making you pay 12 immediately.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying some, and then you can just. If you have a turn where you're just like, I don't know what to do last click, I'll put an advancement counter on Colossus. Whatever. Like, it's not making
Hollis
you
is going to be that guy, 2014 throwback, at man at 4, dog.
Yeah, that's right.
Admin 4, get wrecked. Throwback. Shout out to Justin Kapinski, who won 2014 Nationals. Anyway, I like it. I just think that the investments, if I don't have an Anson Rose, if I don't have someone mentioned like dedication ceremony, like if I don't have any tools to advance this card and I'm just straight up spinning click to advance it, I still don't think it's bad, but it's definitely not good.
But then
If
why
I have
are
to
you
advance
playing
it
this card
myself,
if you're not playing with stuff to do that?
right? Yeah. I mean, like if I have those tools, cool. Like you're awesome. Without those tools, nah, we're good.
Yeah, man.
We good.
Yeah.
So
I'll play Firewall. We good. No, whatever. This is Century.
So I said above average. Corey, where are you saying? You're saying goodish.
I'm saying good. I'm giving it a good.
So Hollis, you have the ability here.
good.
Good.
Look at that. I got Hollis to go up.
Is it
I'm
better
gonna-
than Illegal Arms Factory?
Yeah.
Sure.
No, wait, no.
There we go.
Okay.
No, it's not.
All right.
I mean, it's a card and a credit. Hello?
What's next on
Yeah,
the
I
list,
know.
guys?
Card and credit. All right, here we go.
Hailstorm.
Hailstorm. It's Ice Barrier, Red 6, Strength 5, Influence 4. All right?
What?
Yeah. Remove a card in the heap from the game and the second subroutine in the run.
This is a difficult one.
No, it's not. I kid.
I mean, so... Eh. 6 to pay for Strength 5, so...
I mean, but to me, it's like I'm looking, and I'm not that guy that's going to be like, I'm running the all barrier Weyland. Haha.
Yeah.
Right? So I look at something like this, and I look at how my ice is divided, and Weyland already has those staple, huge, crazy barriers, right? Like, are you don't want to up your barrier count and lower your code gate sentries and mystics, if you're running those.
Thanks.
But like what do you take? Like, is this replacing anything? Is this, are you gravitating towards Hailstorm over the the staple ones of the world?
I mean, Firewall is one less, and then you can improve its strength.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just looking for just a straight up, if you're just not counting in the first sub, if you just want a Strength 5 barrier within the run subroutine, you get that in Firewall for one less. So is it worth an extra res credit to maybe have the subroutine fire that removes a card in the heat from the game? So the card's already been played, it's already done its thing, you're taking it out. Is this a card that's trying to win more with Scorpios? Is that like the theory? It's like I'm trying to push that
maybe
further.
Maybe because I do like a barrier that does a little punch, right? I mean, that's something we've talked about on this cast before. Barriers doing damage. I don't know why this sits at so heavy of an influence.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think its effect is that good. I mean, I think for the slot, you just want to end the run barrier. You don't really care about paying extra for this ability, and it doesn't really find a deck spot.
And it's not going to tax you long run like the other barrier choices in Weyland, right?
Yeah, and you're paying 6 to res this? No, thank you.
I just feel like I'm reaching for different barriers in faction than this one.
Yeah. So, I actually...
Paul Avers, well, influence is determined by roll of the die. This has been said. This has been said.
I actually think I actually think this card is terrible.
Yeah, I don't know if I would tank it all the way to terrible, but I would definitely put it in bad.
It's like top tier. Like I would.
Look, man,
I
the
don't know,
artwork keeps it terrible. Illicit Sales had like garbage artwork. I apologize to that artist because there's probably like, oh yeah, well fuck you, buddy. Yeah. You draw a better card. And I'll have like a stick man that says don't play this card. But but yeah, it's I would put it in bad.
If this card gets bad, not terrible, it's all because of Ethan Patrick Harris and his artwork.
There you go, man.
Ethan Patrick Harris.
See, I'm not as harsh as you guys. I was thinking below average, but I mean, I guess if you pulled all of our stuff together, like
it would equal out the bad.
Yeah,
upper bad.
No, it's terrible.
I can go bad with it. I can go bad. I don't know if I can go terrible, Hollis. I don't know if I can do it, man.
Yeah, man, the artwork's too good to be terrible.
No, not even on an artwork thing. I just think that somewhere out there.
No,
that there's
don't
a deck.
See. Nope. See, you're already fucking up. That's where you're messing up, right there. Okay, here's the deal. So in Weyland X right now. Now, they're basically doing like either I don't even want to say Ice Wall anymore, but they're basically doing like possibly Ice Wall or Hive or Firewall, and like those are like basically pound for pound strength for res cost, or like in the case of Hive, they're even better than that at the beginning of the game, and then you basically like play Blue Sun and you bounce it up and get your money back, and no harm, no foul, like whatever. The card's pointless now. This card doesn't even do that because Ice already doesn't trigger enough. So you're gonna pay 1 more credit for 5 strength, which basically you already get from Firewall. This card is doing nothing extra. So when I compare it against like the smorgasbord of Weyland barriers. This card is like if I had 10 like Weyland barriers, this card's like number 8.
You do. You have actually a lot more than 10.
Yeah, and so like out of all those cards, this card's like the 8th out of 10, which means that this card will not see play. If anyone's playing this, they somehow rationalize it over Ice Wall or Firewall.
Okay. All right. Hold on 1 sec, and I'll tell you, you got me, but it's only because it's triggering different thoughts. It's only triggering different thoughts here. So, What I like, the way I will move this to terrible. I will do that, Hollis, for you. But here's my reasoning behind this situation.
Okay, I'm listening.
The end run on the barrier is I feel like that's what you need. That's what everybody's kind of reaching for that early game, stop, right? I'm either going to bomb something out behind this. I need that end run. But early game, how much is in the heap?
There you go. Hey, whatever you got hey, listen, whatever justification, we already know it's bad, Jameson. We got you, fam.
Right, like I feel that maybe this is like, you might catch 1 or 2 things like from a surprise thing. You might be able to burn one of those sure gambles that have been played, or what's not opening turn or an account siphon, and hey, maybe that's best case scenario, right? But
is it best case?
No, I don't know.
Best case is you not paying 6 credits to res it, and you just spent 1 and res an Ice Wall and bounce the runner.
So, long story short, is I feel that that you're gonna have to wait for their cards to be in the heap. So basically, this moves this barrier to more of a mid-game thing. But by that time, like they're probably already set up and breaking barriers anyway against Weyland, right?
Yes.
So okay.
Yeah.
Have your day.
The only barrier worse than this card is Tyrant.
Is Sales worse than this?
Which one?
The agenda. Elixir.
Yeah, it is. It's worse than this card.
Right.
Because at
Man,
least
Hollis
this
is
is
in his heyday right here with 2 terribles.
Dude, this card is so
Hey man, we got some goods out of him early on, all right?
Yeah.
So let's let him.
Yeah.
He can get his terribles.
All right.
He's been all up and down today, which is great.
Yeah,
he's not
no,
all
I gotta
focused at
balance
the
it
end
out,
of the
man.
table.
It's
Three
so bad.
And we're talking about Weyland cards.
3 left.
So look at this.
All right.
All right,
Get
here
us
we
the
go.
next one. We're in Cogate territory.
Whoredom, or however you say it.
Yeah.
Ice.
Mhm.
Ice.
And read it.
What?
Go ahead and read it out, my fam.
Codegate, Res 4, Strength 4, Influence 2. Whoredom can be advanced. If there are 3 or more advancement counters on Whoredom, its subroutines cannot be broken by AI programs and resolve the parenthetical text instead. First subroutine, Corp gains 1 credit, or Corp gains 4 credits. Second subroutine, in the run, or in the run, or search R&D for up to 2 cards and add them to HQ, shuffle R&D in the run.
What do you guys think?
I've played against this a bunch, and it's above average at least.
Okay.
That's my initial reaction.
It doesn't in the run.
No, but I mean, it doesn't.
The not being able to be broken by AI and the fact that the subroutines can be made impactful enough. Oh, sorry, it does in the run. What am I talking about? It ends the run on the second one, but the fact that you can make the subroutines way more impactful and then turn off the ability to break it with AI is pretty strong.
The AI hate alone moves it into the positive.
Yeah, because it gives Weyland like a really solid option that isn't them having the splash for out of faction for something else to do it.
The 4/4 Codegate is is decent. 4 strength Codegate, we're all good there. The 2 influence, I mean, if you needed to, you can move it. If you're looking for if you're in love with this AI hate rather than the other AI hate that's in different factions. And then I think that the advanceable, again, I mean, I think obviously advanceable ice is Weyland's, niche to barrier. And this is doing it properly.
Yeah. It's strong. I mean, I had to play against much during the TD campaign event. When Mammon, when I ended up getting my Codegate breaker smashed, and then Mammon was what I was using to cheat in, and then my opponent res their Whoredom with 3 counters. I was just like, oh, that's cool. That's real cool. I
mean, obviously it could be a little expensive to get to that territory.
Yeah, but if you're locking somebody out, it's a good investment.
Hells yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, even if you don't invest it all the way, too, I mean, it's still an in-the-run Codegate that can make your credit back. So if both subs fire and they can't deal with it, you've really only paid 3 for Whoredom, and you've ended the run.
I mean, it's gonna be a taxing piece of Codegate ice, which is what Codegates are meant to do. How do you fault? Codegates aren't about ending the run; they're about making you pay.
Yeah,
and that's what it does. I mean, it's not. It's not fall out of your seat phenomenal, but I'm gonna say it's above average.
I would drop it in above average. I think that's a good spot for it.
Hollis, anything on this?
My only true concern would be this card requires, for its maximum potential, just like Colossus, a fairly heavy amount of investment. I mean, you're talking 4 credits, 3 clicks. That's minimal 7 credits and additional clicks to get to that point. My biggest fear, if I were to play this card, is my opponent saying, all right, -1 strength, Yogg. That would just be heartbreaking. That would actually be heartbreaking for a piece of ice like this. Granted, I know that it's already good to be above 3 strength, but I think what I'm more disappointed on is that it doesn't gain, like Colossus, it doesn't gain strength at all. And so Yogg is still hovering as a threat with additional assistance.
Yeah,
that's my big concern.
I mean, that's why I can only float it at above average.
Yeah, that's actually why I would float it
Bum, 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 bum.
I would float it average.
Eh.
Yeah, I would float it average. I would say this, for advancement ice to ever be included in decks, like, they basically have to be something closer to Colossus. They need to have, when you advance them, when you spend additional clicks and credits to advance it, they need to get stronger. The abilities on them need to get better. And this only has half of it. At the present moment, we've seen ice they've made with only one side of that, and they haven't been phenomenal. And this is another one where it's not really phenomenal.
This fucking guy gets one piece of ice that gains strength and does parenthetical text, and now it's already set the bar for every piece of ice after.
I'm greedy, man.
Yeah.
I'm greedy. Like,
that's it. See, that's why Colossus is good. Colossus has already changed the advanceable ice meta. It's done it.
They've shown me what they're capable of. Now, why would you take it away? Why would you do that to me?
It's just a tease.
I know, yeah. But I would put it as average, and it's only really to balance out where it's placed in the above average category. For you get like deep down, it's probably above average, but I feel like it's a little lower than the direct middle.
Corey, what do you got?
Above average. I'm not wavering from my above average.
Woo! He said not wavering. Okay, cool.
Oh man, I played against this a handful of times.
Oh, I said it was yeah. So we got two aboves and one average. I mean that obviously tips it up into average, but where?
Into the above average?
Yeah.
I mean, you can put it at the bottom of the above average column.
I mean that'll probably make Hollis a little.
It's right there.
We'll probably get a
on the
smile.
cusp.
We'll get a smile out of him there. All right, next let's go. We got two here.
Yeah, man. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Oh man, please.
Hunter Seeker.
Ooh.
Operation Double Gray Ops. Cost 2, Influence 2. As an additional cost, play this operation, spend an extra click. Play only if the runner stole an agenda during his or her last turn. Trash one card. Fantastic.
And whatever this thing is has hard drive platters. It's like bottom thrusters.
Can you bring that into more of a bad publicity tier list scale?
Great.
Oh, all right.
Great. It's great. To immediately give the corporation just an absolute just retaliation to having an agenda stolen is something that it's not like I have to sink so many credits in, I have to super tag you to set up to be able to do something bad to you next turn, or I have to orchestrate this. No, it's just like the runner got an agenda. Cool, I'm gonna blow this card up.
So,
and it has such flexibility the way it can pick.
I don't want to derail this train that you're on too crazily, but side tangent. I look at a card like this and see how freaking bonkers it is.
Yes.
And why is it to influence? When we look at what was it, Mr. Stone? You know, like.
He was 4, man.
Yeah.
'Cause think about what he would be like if he was in.
Yeah, but no, that's fine. He can be 4 influence, right? But why can't this be at least 3?
Because I want to play it in PE, man.
Oh my god!
Don't make this cost so much.
Don't bum me out.
What? I will pay influence for this card, and I will do it with a smile on my face. That's immediately like, how many influences on Hunter Seeker? I can get multiples in this deck. Cool, we're doing it.
Because of its versatility, I'm just gonna put Hunter Seeker above Scorpios.
Damn.
Yeah, because you can play it across all factions.
Yeah.
I mean I don't think we even really do a lot of explanation on this.
No, I was just going to say.
Read the ability. Like, it's pretty apparent why it's so good.
Everything you guys are saying, I have nothing to add. Like, it's,
Yeah.
It's obvious. It's obvious that the card's great. Like,
yeah. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's obvious.
All right. So, we're down to the last one.
Yeah.
Last Weyland card.
Ranking executives here. That's what we do.
KP Lynn. Upgrade. Executive. Res 1, Trash 3, Influence 2. Whenever the runner passes all of the ice protecting the server, he or she must either take one tag or end the run.
What? Hold on. What? One to res through the trash. Whoa, hold on.
So
it's an upgrade.
1 to res, good. 3 to trash, okay. Upgrade,
Hello?
good.
Did Weyland get Jinteki options? What happened?
Yeah, they have
What
to
is
either
this?
take a tag or end the run.
Like, to me, this is already positive. I mean, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. This is probably.
I mean, because you can't even interact with this upgrade until you decide to take the tag, right? And so, how does that interact? So, if you think about cards, what is it, dedicated response teams and stuff like that? Like,
guys, I think this is good value. And
I mean,
this is tagging in Weyland, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
I'm okay with this. I think I mean it's unique, obviously, but I think to me what sells it is that it's an upgrade.
Yeah,
Yes.
Like that. Like that's awesome, right? Like I really like that you could place it anywhere, and it just they can't run fourth click. Even if they run third, you're gonna like price sec, right? You're gonna tax them a bit here, force like a reaction from the runner. I dig it.
yeah. And then, as someone mentioned in chat, because it's immediately ending the run as they're passing all the ice, they don't get successful run triggers.
Yeah. It's true.
So it's in a really good timing window, because it's like right after they pass the ice, then it's like, hey, do you want to take a tag or end the run?
Yeah.
That's pretty freaking sweet. I think it's neat to give Weyland an option like this. And I mean, it's true. She's super cheap. I mean, 1 to res is not a huge investment.
Right.
And then if you think about it, if you stack it up with things like Judge, right?
Yeah.
Then you protect something, and then you drop her down as a defense. And then they come in and you're like, hey, do you want to end the run or take a tag? And you're like, no, man, I'll take the tag. You're like, cool, I'm going to res this Judge.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, well, I hope I win the game, or I didn't put myself in some really terrible spot getting in and grabbing this.
Yeah. So are we thinking good?
I'm leaning in the above average, because I don't think it's going to... Above average is where I would set it.
Top? Mid?
That's hard.
Low?
Probably wherever you can fit it between like middle and top of above average, I think is appropriate.
So we have 4, so she would go right in the middle between over Graft, under Armored Servers.
Yeah, I think so, actually. That's, man. Armored Servers is really good.
Yeah, I mean, she'd be below Armored Servers,
Yeah.
but better than Graft.
Yes.
Cool. So I think it's right in the middle of above average. Seems good.
All right.
So let me let me hit you with the fun fact, because this is what when I said O earlier, this is what I wanted to bring up, just for the fun lore for the people in the chat. So, for people that didn't know, of course, Damon Stone was lead designer on the game before he left, and he was also like a co-designer in the game when Lucas was leading the charge in Netrunner. Damon Stone's wife, I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to disclose, but just know that her name is Kelsey Petrowski. And KP Lynn is a card that unless I'm mistaken, was designed after Damon's wife. So the card name Mr. Stone and the card name KP Lynn are in the same pack. And I'm pretty sure that was done intentionally.
It also looks like they synergize with each other.
Right. So shout out to Damon and shout out to Kelsey, Miss KP. That's the reason why the names are what they are. So yeah.
Cool. Hollis, you got anything else to hit us? I'm good here, but I don't know if you're real talking to close this out.
I do have one small real talk, and this is what it is. I'm gonna leave the glasses on. I apologize. I know we're trying to wrap it up soon, but so this is the thing. So my real talk for tonight is pretty much about like what we're seeing coming out of Weyland. I thought about this on the way here when I was driving. So the thing is that like for years and years and years, right? I say years and years, for 3 years.
I thought for sure it was going to be FAQ related too. So Sorry about
Oh,
that.
I can add something here, but for years, basically, we've been worried about like Weyland as far as moving up into like what makes them capable, what actually makes them a force to be reckoned with in the current meta, and that's sort of that's always been sort of a challenge. I think that FFG has always looked at Weyland's meat damage potential as the biggest issue, and I think with making them like a prominent deck that does something different. I think that they're realizing that the remove from game effects are sort of the new thing that kind of defines Weyland. It's like the big new thing that they are the best at. If you recall from when we had the Cronus Protocol, they were kind of deciding that between the Jinteki faction and the HB faction, and it seems pretty clear that they've said, you know what, maybe Weyland is the faction that really needs this because they've already kind of deal with trashing the run of cards. I really believe that this. While Terminal Directive in general has a lot of really bad cards, and this faction has a lot of really bad cards, it feels like a lot of really great options are coming out of Weyland, and I'm really, really excited. It makes me very excited to see if Scorpios and the available new agendas and the available new support, upgrades, and assets are going to push Weyland above that curve that before they really couldn't get to. I know that HB asset spam is really big right now because of options like a Still Moon. And I know that as a result, runners are having to adapt in whatever way they can. But of course, from a design perspective, and Damon and Lucas has said this, the hope is that the combination of dominant HB decks, dominant Weyland decks, dominant MBN and Jinteki decks make it so that runners feel like they have to sort of split their attention in choosing what cards, what deck slots are going to help them decide or make them decide what really they need to be focusing on defending against. And I like that. Like that's what makes a meta, is like saying, I'm really good at this thing, but by being really good at this thing, I'm not so great at this other thing. Or I'm average versus all these things. I'm hoping that when the dust settles and everyone has sat down to practice and they figure it out, I really hope that they come to a decision over what's like the hardest thing to tech against, but what's the sleeper deck? Like is Weyland, if no one's teching against Weyland, does that make it the best deck? To me, that's exciting. It was a reason why at Worlds it was so exciting to see Zach Cavis versus Timmy Wong, because you had a meta where Weyland wasn't really like the most prominent deck, but it definitely had answers to issues that no one else really had. So I'm hoping the meta changes in that way. That's my real talk. I'm excited, very excited about Weyland this time. That's it.
Cool.
So you're playing Weyland regionals?
Yes. Absolutely.
Do you guys want to queue in with any FAQ goodies, or do we still need time to circumvent that Bible?
Yeah, I'm still kind of going through it, but I am. Initial reactions is I'm glad they fixed the MCA informant, and I'm glad Power Shutdown got a super nerf.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah.
So those are things I'm really happy about. The very last one, the interaction with Famiko and Seifield, has me kind of excited.
Yeah.
There you have it. Guys, thank you very much for everybody who tuned in to an impromptu Bad Publicity session. The chat was bonkers tonight.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
You guys are awesome, man.
Thanks everyone who's tuning in and supporting us. Appreciate it. We will catch you next time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe regular time. Maybe not.
Maybe. It's been a crazy week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Take care. Hollis,
Yeah,
Corey,
pleasure.
Jameson, from our family to your family. We still don't know why Drake tied Adele on the Billboard Music Awards. Come on. That's blasphemy. All my people in Nashville will see you in the Stanley Cup Finals. Boom. Let's do it. We're
Have a
out.
good night, everyone.
I got no other shout-outs. Hollis, I know you usually got one last minute.
Me,
thing to
shout out to Dean Tran for being in the chat. Shout out to BM Eagle 78 and Wesley Holland and Paul Avers and Quiet Quillid and Maui Chris and Waka Wolf and at this point I'm just naming off people that are posting in chat. Props to all you guys for showing up week after week. We really appreciate it. Thanks for the love. We're happy that you guys participate. Thank you so much. And shout out to all the Patreon supporters that give us money to continue doing what we do. Like, I don't think you realize how important money is.
Yeah,
but it's really important. Thank you guys so much.
yeah, that helped renew the SoundCloud. So
Yeah.
everyone who is listening on audio, we can thank those set
Patreon's
people.
paying for that.
Those
so thank you guys.
new alt art cards coming soon, very soon, to be unveiled.
yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. And then all the last rounds of them, people should be getting very soon as well. So
All right,
keep
guys.
an eye on your mailboxes.
Stay peeled. Later.
Later.
See you.